Beloved, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I heard from one of our congressional representatives a couple of days ago about the idea that she feels that this nation would be best under Christian nationalism, which got me to thinking, where do we go when our leaders are such fools? This is not the first time the nation has yearned for a strong leader. When people are afraid, they yearn for strong leadership. And what they mean by that usually is powerful leadership. The power of the gun and the fist and the bullet. But they're asking for a thing that will in the end destroy the things that they love. Because such strong leaders are always destructive, always murderous, and always hateful. Now, the Bible has nothing to say about America's struggle right now directly, because America wasn't America then. But I wonder if the Bible has something to say about this problem. Yes, it does. There are 2 points that really came to mind when I was, this last week I was visiting Maine, and I was going through this lovely town, and there was a man standing on the corner talking about green energy being communist, and there are kooks everywhere. But when our elected leadership starts to talk in terms of Christian nationalism, or nationalism of any kind for that matter, I find that problematic. And so I went back to the Bible and I found a couple of places. The first occurs in the Old Testament, in the book of Samuel. And it's a period of time thousands of years ago, nothing like it is today, and yet everything like it is today. Because the Israelites are surrounded by people that they think are their enemies. And in some cases, they're absolutely right. They are fearful that outside forces are going to come in and take what is theirs. And so they want a king, because other countries have kings. And so they want one too. And Samuel takes that message back to God, and God says, okay, let them have it. But first, tell them what they're going to get. And this is what he has to say. God tells Samuel, go, let them have their own way, but warn them what they're in for. Tell them the way kings operate, just what they're likely to receive from a king. And so Samuel goes to them and says, well, this is what's going to happen. He'll take your sons and make soldiers out of them. He'll put some to forced labor on his farms, and others to making weapons of war, chariots, which he can ride in luxury. He'll put your daughters to work as beauticians and waitresses and cooks. He'll conscript your best fields, vineyards, and orchards and hand them over to his special friends. He'll lay tax on your flocks, and you'll end up no better than slaves. But the Israelites want a king. And so they get one. And almost immediately, things turn out very poorly for them. When we keep looking for the things of the world, we will get the things of the world. We will get fear and division. There's another time when this question comes up, and it's in the New Testament, in the book of Mark. And you may know the story. There are many different factions that are against Jesus, and 2 of them are the Pharisees and the Herodians. Now, why does that matter at all? Well, it doesn't. It matters not because we don't have Pharisees or Herodians, but we do have the same sorts of people doing the same sorts of things as those 2 groups. The Pharisees were the men of God. They followed the law, they went to church, they tithed, they did all the right things, and they had no knowledge of what God really wanted because they stopped their ears. They heard the message, but they did not understand it. And so they twisted what God wants into what they wanted. The other group are the Herodians, who supported the puppet government out of Rome. Just people in it for the power. And they ask a gotcha question to Jesus. The same sort of question that you open up your social media and you will find right away. And they say, no, Jesus, I know you're a good guy. I just know you don't pander. You have integrity. That you're indifferent to public opinion. You say what's on your mind. So tell us, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Now that's a sort of question like, have you stopped beating your wife yet? There's no right answer to it. But Jesus has one. And he says, bring me some coins. And they do. And he picks one out and he says, whose face is on that? And they say, Caesar. And Jesus says, right, well then, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God's. And what is God's is everything. And that stops them, shuts them up, but it doesn't stop their hatred. They don't open their ears. They just keep going on. If we want to be a Christian nation, I am fully on board. A Christian nation would accept all in equal fellowship because that is what Jesus did. And that's what God calls us to do. A Christian nation would be so construed as to give everyone, citizens and non-citizens alike, the tools and opportunity to let their gifts flourish. A Christian nation would not seek power by the ways of the world, and a Christian nation would not be so proud to think that its way is the only way. If we want to be a light upon the hill, let us not be a guardhouse spotlight. Let us be a campfire where all can gather round in peace. God bless.